Hi.
Hi, fam.
Cheers.
You're so far away.
I know,
can't
we're not
touch
going to
the
be
boom
able to
arm.
hit.
I can't cheers.
Welcome back, fam.
I'm
Hi.
gonna drink, though.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Cheers.
Yum. I love that ASMR. Actually, I was on the phone with someone and they heard the ice do that thing and they go, "What
Yeah.
are you drinking right now?" And I was like, "How does he know I'm drinking?" And I was like, "Oh, because
It's in the... I like it.
Fam, friends, family,
Sibs.
siblings. Wow, we are coming to you live.
Not so live.
But like, I just feel like that's what people say.
No, coming
Yeah.
to you live.
Coming to you live.
From Francesca's closet.
The biggest closet in New York City.
Except we're in Denver.
Except we're in Denver.
No, you guys, like this, because I used to live in New York City for so many years. The fact that this closet is like happened, like I don't understand.
Right.
You guys, we have a podcast studio set up in my closet right now.
For those of you who can't see, we are literally filming in the closet.
With chairs and cameras and mics and coffee tables and all of my clothes. But you guys, we think we might permanently make this the podcast studio.
I think that would be, especially when it's just like Francesca and I, recording. It's like sometimes we don't want to go somewhere. It's just like it's happening in the house, whatever.
I don't know. Like maybe sometimes I'd like to like invite prominent people to like my closet.
So, like people that we actually like that we're close with, you know?
Or not.
Do you want to do it from the closet?
You want to come hang out in my closet?
Mm-hmm.
It's nice, I swear.
It is.
We're gonna put a bar cart in here.
Yeah, it really is that big. You could definitely do a ballet number in here.
Oh yeah. I want a chandelier.
Well, you have room for that. I mean, these are like 15-foot tall ceilings.
I want to measure. You guys, this is pertinent or relevant because this apartment came out of nowhere.
Guys.
And that is what this podcast is about.
We're telling you the story of we officially moved to Denver.
We did.
But we had a few bumps along the way. And by a few bumps, I mean, I feel like we took our lives and threw it in a blender.
Yeah.
But then we made the most delicious smoothie ever.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you. So we also, let's talk about what we're drinking before we get into the ridiculousness of our weekly antics.
Okay. So, you guys, I'm cramped. So this podcast sponsor is JaJa Tequila. JaJa. This is actually Fuck Jerry's Tequila, if you know the Instagram. We randomly became friends with him on TikTok through actually our parents' company, which is funny. But they sent us a bunch of tequila. And so this tequila has like sponsored the move.
100%.
Which is why it is on this podcast. Like our getting back crazy fitness life is not here yet in the new year. We have a podcast sponsor for that next week, and it's perfect. It's all now an alcoholic. But everything was sponsored this week by JaJa. Like packing, going, because like we didn't have all our things, and it was like, where's like the bar and the box? And it was like, well, we have the JaJa.
We have the JaJa.
Like,
we cracked that bitch open.
There for us. Like, ask me if it's filled with water right now.
Francesca, are you telling that? That's our secret. Okay, we'll see. We put water back into the drink because we drank it all. Okay,
listen, because it was that good.
Yeah. So right now I am drinking. I just juiced fresh. We actually literally juiced apples.
Well, we didn't have any. It was either that or you were gonna mix it with soy sauce.
Yeah, or some olive juice, and I was like, okay. So just apple juice, tequila, ice. Call it a day.
Yeah, it's like a tequila apple martini.
Mm-hmm.
I just have like a tequila sunrise without
the grenadine.
Yeah, it's just orange juice and tequila.
Well, because we don't have all of our mixers yet, so this is what we're working with.
We don't have anything yet.
We don't got shit. We just have a giant ass closet.
But we didn't even have food yesterday, so like. But we had a random can of garbanzo beans. So, like, I made, like, bootleg homemade hummus.
Which was fucking awesome, by the way.
You.
So good.
Thank you. And like, crushed tortilla chips from, like, the back of one of our cars.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we had for dinner last night.
Hey, it's working. So, thank you, JaJa Tequila. More to come.
Yeah, I mean, I truly love them. Actually, if you guys follow them on Instagram, their marketing is, like, fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, that's why I was like, of course, like, fuck Jerry's.
Yeah,
marketing would
be great.
Of course,
it's good. Mm-hmm. All right. So also with this episode podcast, like so much happened since we last saw you guys with the episode with our dentist, which was wild. But that was right before Christmas. So it's been about and that episode came out last Thursday. This one will be up this Thursday or Friday. What?
Can I say that, like, until our friend told us they were watching the YouTube video this week of last episode, I used to think that, like, if I would, like, sip or, like, drink, like, you know, like, I usually thought that if you're talking, the camera's on you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, in reels or whatever. Like, you're the center of attention, so, like, I'm, like, hiding right now. I just realized that, like, if I'm chugging in the corner, because on our YouTube videos, it's just us side by side. Every past episode, Nick, I thought that I've been like alone and like not on camera.
Just like, yeah.
And now I'm trying to learn now, like, we're just on camera the whole time.
We're on camera. Look at us.
So, I'm just chugging this because this story is like, it's so stressful, but so funny and so ridiculous. But like, I still can't like think about it without like, I need a fucking drink.
100%. 100%. So I hear you on that and I agree. No, but like as you tell a story, you just have to like smile and look present.
I hate that. What is it? I'm just going to drink this like, I feel like I'm just getting ready.
Yeah, so we literally didn't even know how to tell this story and like update you guys while we were writing this episode today. So we literally had to draw a fucking timeline just to remember exactly what happened and what days. Francesca, show it.
So if you're watching YouTube or on the reels, you guys, Nick and I like didn't know what happened. And so this is what we do sometimes. We sit down with our phones. Well, okay, so Nick and I go to a coffee shop to write the podcast, either a couple days before or today, day of. Well, we start with a note. We have a shared note. But like sometimes the things we write in the shared note don't make sense to us anymore.
At all. I wrote a lot about gargoyles, like
yeah. So then our second way that we realize what happened during the week is we go through the pictures on our phone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, where was I on the 27th? Because I'm always taking a selfie.
Yeah.
I'm always like sending something or like taking some type of TikTok. So like I can use those as context clues. So Nick
like
and I
we investigate our own lives because we don't know what the fuck's going on.
But like this is what keeps it interesting. Okay, so and you guys, it's not that like we were so like drunk or anything like that. Like do not take us wrong. It's just that so much sometimes happens that I don't remember. I forgot whole parties, like people we saw, like whole days of packing. So Nick and I, like we wrote down from the 27th to the 4th. And each day we filled in clues.
Mm-hmm. And we were like, wait, what even happened on the 28th?
I don't know.
You know?
But now we know. We really went through it all.
So we had to literally graph our lives on a plot.
I almost decided, I go, Nick, should we go buy like a whiteboard and like give it to them? And then also like I needed like geographically how much we were moving around.
Yeah.
I almost did this whole podcast like visually in like pictographs.
like it's a
like an infographic.
Like a freshman year history class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start.
Wait, we have to start first with the fact that Nick has a fucking limp.
Yeah. Something is wrong with me, everyone. I am limping around like I'm on a peg leg. And it's really
people are commenting.
I know. Yeah. Actually, it's bad. I mean, I don't think a limp should be part of my new aesthetic, like my new style for Denver. But something's wrong with me. I actually know what it is, but it's
also fucked up that we were almost homeless and then you developed a limp. I'm like, stop cosplaying a homeless person. It's awkward. We're not going to be homeless and you don't have a limp.
Yeah. Because we were really worried about our living situation there for a bit. No,
like when we say we were almost homeless, like I guess we have friends, but like, and we have like a backing. It's not like we don't have like support from our parents, not monetarily, but like we thought we almost had to move back in with our parents
because we didn't know what the fuck was going on,
or we could have lived in the Uhaul.
Yeah, that was like $100 a day.
That's true. We couldn't afford that.
No, that's expensive.
It's true.
But yeah. So my limp, it's getting worse, but it may be better. I'm gonna have to go see a doctor. But this move was. Mind you, this whole story is going on. I have a limp, okay?
And sometimes, like, he yelps in excruciating pain, but only sometimes. It's a pinched nerve in his leg. But our brother's a doctor. And what did he say?
He said it's a piriformis nerve. Okay. No, so a nerve, my piriformis is pinching a nerve, causing this like striking pain to go down from like pretty much like in my right ass cheek all the way down to my calf muscle.
It hurts that far down.
Yeah, but it's weird because it's like a really strange movement. It's not always so I can like walk after a while, but like once I sit down after having standing up, it hurts. But once I stand up, it hurts.
Nick's gonna crawl out of this closet.
Yeah. For like 5 seconds, then we're good.
But he also has to like stretch a lot. Like, so if it's starting to hurt, like, so sometimes Nick is just like doing like a bridesmaid motion when she shits in the middle of the street. Like, you're like doing like a weird, he's like, it's always going down to stretch.
It doesn't, like the stretches I have to do to help it don't look like I'm stretching. It looks like I'm doing something like trying to like be a doula trying to perform birth or something. Like it's weird. It's a very, anyway. Yeah, so it's weird. But we're here. We are limping, and that's the context of this.
If we want to talk about ailments, I have rosacea.
Francesca has rosacea on her face.
I think we talked about it last podcast. Listen, I have so much makeup on. I'm embarrassed about it, and that's why I feel like everyone needs to know. I have eczema now and rosacea, so half my face is crusted over and like almost like red boils. It's awesome.
It's not that bad.
It's pretty bad.
We're gonna figure it out, and it's definitely an ailment.
It's gonna figure it out,
like,
and I'm gonna like be pretty again. But like, it's been tough.
There's nothing worse than like a rash on the face.
A face rash.
Yeah,
It's like a
no, for sure. It's not good.
You've seen it when I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like scabbed over. It's pussing. It's upset.
Pussing?
Nick,
is it really pussing?
Yeah, no,
well, I haven't noticed that.
Because I deal with it before I see anyone in the morning. It's gross.
Really?
It's leaking.
Ew. I doubt that.
Yeah,
She's
Nick.
being dramatic, everyone.
I'm not. It's not good, okay? Moving on. Those
where
are
do we start, Francesca? Where in history do we start?
I'll tell you where.
Okay.
We start with the fact that we told everyone a couple months ago that we were moving to Denver.
We told every single person in my entire life.
That we had an official place. It was 100%. And that it was happening.
It was happening, and the price was really good, and we couldn't be more excited.
The price was right.
Uh-huh.
The place fell through.
Fell through. Right through our hands like sand.
Like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
Before we moved down.
Mm-hmm. Which was Friday the 30th. So, now, mind you, as we're leaving Breckenridge, like, people are like, oh, Nick, are you all moved in? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm not all moved in. I don't even have a place to live, even though I told you last week I did.
But Nick also worked every day at his job in Breckenridge until we left.
Just to get a little extra money.
A little cash.
Mm-hmm.
And so while he's working, I'm packing. But I don't know where I'm packing for because we don't know where we're living. But we know that we drop dead. Have to be out at midnight on the 31st.
Because that's what we already gave up our place to our landlord. So like we have to be out and we have no other option. And people are asking me, where am I? Am I all packed up, moved in, and what am I doing for New Year's Eve? What am I doing for New Year's Eve?
I'm like, that's not...
Bitch, where am I living? You know? Because this is how people go homeless.
Exactly.
But that's kind of so Saucy Sibz, right? Just us kind of... playing it by ear and trusting that it's all going to work out.
So we have this joke between us that everything works out in the nick of time, but he's the Nick.
I'm the Nick.
And nick of time. Somehow, everything comes through at the last minute, and I feel like God, the universe, always like is like, are you going to trust or are you going to not? But it's like, at some point, you have to be a little realistic.
At some point, yeah, because that's what everyone says. But I just, it
or
won't
don't.
work out 2 weeks before we move down. That's not how it works for me.
We have to change that, like, in our lives because, like, or just like, oh, we just trust that, like, it doesn't matter if it falls through 2 weeks before.
Yeah. Because, like, these things happen. It's almost, like, expected at this point, but that's what, like, is kind of stressful to deal with because it's like, all right, here we are.
Okay, so 48 hours before we have to be out of our... So we're emailing apartments. We're touring places. We are like running around Denver, like just because you have to like tour somewhere, make sure you can live there, submit an application, which usually costs about $250 each. and then like wait for them to like accept you.
Yeah. We had to do all that while packing up and moving out of our place.
And while not living in Denver. We're not down here.
Exactly. But
and there's a million apartment complexes.
there are, which I do love. Unlike the mountains, it's not really hard to find a place. I mean, it's difficult, but like it's not like
places exist.
yeah, exactly. Where in the mountains there is a shortage of housing. Like there are more people than there is housing, and that's why if you listen to our old episodes, when we found our old apartment in Frisco, why that took us like 6 fucking weeks. It took us 6 weeks. You know, we applied to a place. 2 places, but we applied to a place and we kind of knew it was going to be the spot, but we just didn't really know
the other spot, not this spot.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, the other one we were like, we're in. We were like, we're making it happen, and apparently our credit's not great.
Credit is not great, everyone. It's like my thing. Bad credit.
Nick just got, okay, I'm sorry, guys. This is a milestone. Nick got his first credit card like 4 months ago.
Literally, yeah. It's
Ever.
like a beginner
That's why his
card.
credit is, so like when we do credit checks, we use my credit, which is decent, fine, livable. But we can't allow them to include Nick on the credit check.
No, do not use mine. Do not
because
use
he's
mine.
never had any credit. Like he's never had any debt. Like,
yeah.
But he didn't even have student loans, like nothing. And so his credit looks like you don't exist like on the credit world. So it's bad.
Bad.
And if they're like, oh, we have to put both of you on the credit check, I'm like, we're not getting this fucking apartment.
Nope.
What did it say?
I actually was just like checking out my credit. And it said that they were what was it?
Ultimate delinquency?
No. Serious delinquency.
But you've never not paid anything. You just didn't have anything.
Yeah, which is weird. I don't know. I think I do have, my credit card is maxed out right now.
Because you want to know the limit they gave him?
Guess what the limit is? Maxed out. I am in deep credit card debt, guys. Let me tell you. My all of my credit is maxed out to $500. I have like $900 or $494 that I have used right now. So
that looks bad.
It's serious delinquency. That's a hard word to say. But yeah, that's me. Serious delinquent. Thanks, Wells Fargo. But so that anyway. But then that first place we were like really trying to go to, they had a podcast studio in the place.
It's really cool. We still actually might work with that company because you can be a part of their community without living there.
Mm-hmm.
And the community's fucking dope.
Yeah.
So if we can work with them, we'll tell you guys about it.
Exactly. But a few things didn't love about it, you know? So we had to go on with another place. So we toured another place.
But we almost didn't even. I was like, should I cancel the next one? This is where we're living. This is what works out. And Nick said, because I do things by whim, and Nick still, like, I feel like you're more like methodical. You were like, let's just tour it. You already have the appointment. You wanted this
We
place.
have the time.
Like, literally, like, why not, Francesca?
Yeah.
He was like, we're going to go to get a sandwich instead of, like, tour this. So we did, and
didn't really click.
No, I mean, we were, like, into it, but we didn't understand that, like, we'd been given a gift from God.
Exactly. And that's the thing, because everything did work out, but we just didn't know it yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like
we still thought we were looking elsewhere.
Exactly. And that's kind of like our takeaway from this episode is like shit works out better than you think it does, even if you can't see it right now. For us, at least.
No, that's fucked up.
But
no, I think we are really lucky, but it really is just like trusting and praying. Like I've told everyone I've seen in the past 2 weeks to pray for me. Pray for us. I'm not kidding. Like
just like cast a spell or something.
Yeah,
because
we're a little bit different. I'm like, please pray for us, like hands and knees. And Nick is like, do a ritual.
Like if you need to like offer some fruit up to the golden calf and perform a puja or something, like let's do it.
Like at this point, we didn't know, but we weren't going back home.
So we applied to it.
We did.
And that was you. I didn't apply to it.
No. So Nick's been working to make us money. And I've been doing the admin for our lives.
Yeah.
Like applying and calling and renter's insurance and credit checks. And like, I don't even know what I've been doing. But I've been working like 6 hours a day on admin, and I'm unclear of how that's.
I know. Yeah, it's been
like I've literally been like, I just did this, we just did that. Like
it was so much. And thank you for doing that, because I don't know if
Yeah.
I would have gotten to all that. I didn't even know.
It's like a split little partnership.
I know. Just
It's working for us.
it works. But it took them. How long did it take them to accept us? Which we didn't even think it was going to happen again, because
Like a week and a half, I think we were at.
Yeah, over Christmas and shit.
She needed other. She's like, okay, so like, you don't want me to check Nick's credit? And I was like, absolutely not. And she was like, okay, like, what about your W-2s or W-4s, whatever it's called? And I was like, well, here's the thing. We've been working bartending and podcasting. So like, most of our money is made through PayPal and Venmo, which up until this fucking year, you didn't have to claim.
Yeah. And I feel like there's only
Secret.
like podcasting and making tips at a bar. Like, what other jobs are like less
sketchy
to like prove your money? Like prostitution and drug dealing. And
I
then
think
podcasting.
at first I was worried they were going to think we were drug dealers, because I was like, you can talk to all of our past landlords. We have never not paid rent for years.
Totally.
Even talked to my New York City landlords. Like, I was like, we don't have an issue, but like, I can't show you on paper that we make any money.
Any money.
Or am I going to go to Nick? I'm not going to jail for tax evasion.
Tax evasion? No. This is a classic server thing. They know that, and it's never like
but
enough
it's still
money.
illegal.
You can get like audited by the IRS.
No, you're supposed to claim everything that you've like gotten in cash in your whole life.
Yeah, you're supposed to. And if you
Nick,
get audited,
like,
that's a fucking problem.
What if there's an auditor? Listen,
Listening?
I'm nervous. I'm about to break out in
If they're
hives.
an auditor listening, you should probably just cut us a slack, because we're giving you some entertainment. We'll invite you to the closet.
Kidding. Well, would you say we'll bartend in your closet?
No, we'll invite you to the closet and let you
Oh.
show that we actually like do like a show.
I'll pay
we
back
get money.
taxes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Please don't. Nick, it's one of my biggest fears.
Oh my God. That is such a crazy. I feel like
we
it's
have
not
an accountant.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
She's always told me like, it's fine.
Unless we were making like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, yeah.
No, we don't.
We don't make that,
enough
guys.
to anyone that calls.
I know, exactly.
Is this a tax podcast? Should we have should we have our accountant on?
Barbara?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I love her.
So the place that we're in right now, we end up touring. And we toured it. It was nice. But she told us that with this room, that there's really nothing. It's a lot cheaper than it should be. And because she didn't really know why. She was like, I don't know. It's just cheaper. But it's bigger. And
That it's like one of the biggest 2-bed, 2-baths in this complex.
in the complex. And she was
Mhm.
just like, oh, it's cheaper. I don't really know why. It's never really been rented out before. It was like the model
Like the model
apartment.
home.
And so I'm like, okay. But she didn't seem worried about it. And you didn't seem worried about it. I didn't seem worried about it. I kind of was just like focused so much on the space that I didn't really like focus on that comment. So because it was so much cheaper, like we ended up like we had to apply for it. And I was like, let's just do it. I was kind of thinking like, you know how you said methodical. I was just like, Francesca, like this place is big. It's nice. It's for a really good price. Like, why don't we just apply for that and like really hope that we get it? And that's what we did.
My thing with us is I was like, oh, this one has this and this one has that. And Nick was like, why don't we like go for price? And that's not really like my vibe. I tend to overthink that we can pay for things.
Yeah. And like I think like as we are starting like our whole career is like pretty much going full-time podcasting, like, you know, these first couple months are going to be like pretty hard. Like we can do it, but like it's going to be hard. So why don't we'll like price.
So Nick was smart.
Let's just go.
He was like, let's like go tighter. And if we want to move somewhere and get a really nice place, great.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of when I was like, it's like cheap. Like maybe I want to like look at the more expensive ones.
Yeah, we toured some expensive ass places too that we absolutely couldn't afford, but we were like, okay.
But it was like less than our rent in Aspen and less than our rent in Breckenridge / Frisco where we actually lived. And so we were like, oh, it's cheap comparatively, but it's not normal.
No, it's not.
To pay that much for rent. Like it's New York City, San Francisco prices with zero amenities.
Totally.
Like in a basement. And so I just like wasn't that sold. And I told my dad about how much it was. it was just so much cheaper. And my dad was like, well, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, that's why, like, there's something wrong with it, and that's why it's cheaper. And that if they didn't tell you, they're like not telling you on purpose.
Yeah, he was like, if something's too good, this is a big quote of his. If something's too good to be true, then if it sounds like that, it probably is.
Right.
So
Which I kind of felt, but I was like, I don't know, like the way that like our tour guide showed us, like there was really like she seemed so nonchalant about it. But then I was like, is she trying to trick us? Like, is that the trick?
Yeah.
But, that's it, really.
So we signed at this price overnight in Brack.
48 hours before we moved into it.
We signed, and I was like, I'm locking it in. This is the price, and this is where we're living, Nick, and I don't know why.
Because I was like, literally, what could be wrong with it? You know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, God, is it going to like not have electricity? Oh, like, welcome to the room. There's no fucking outlets or something crazy like that.
We didn't know. We're like, why is it like $2,000 cheaper than it should be?
Uh-huh.
So we're locked in.
Which I'm excited. Now we have a place. Oh, thank God this happened. We can afford it. Okay.
When we moved in, I go, give it to me. What's wrong with it? So what happened? This apartment complex got bought by a new company.
Yeah.
And they used to have like a model guest room. The new company bought it and said, it's dumb. We're going to rent this out to someone because it's not making any revenue and we don't need this model. Like they can just see their empty models, envision it for themselves, whatever. But because of that, because it was bought by a really big company, is this too much to explain to people?
No, I think because it sounds like it's made up. I mean, let's get into it.
It is. So like to get into it, basically they said this new company goes off numbers because they're huge and corporate. And numbers wise, everything's done by an algorithm. So if this one is this much square feet and this much, but it's been toured this many times and empty this long, this is the price.
And that's what we didn't understand, you know, because they also like some of the prices changed before we signed too, after we had toured them.
They changed every day.
And that's what I was like, that's fucking weird. But I guess it's just like some corporate algorithm that does this.
And so they were like, the algorithm thinks that this apartment has been empty for 3 years.
As in it's undesirable.
Yeah. So it's the model apartment. It's fucking weird. No one wants it. It's been toured this many times, but like never rented out for real. So the algorithm says lower it, but they just moved all the model furniture out 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
And so this was like a model thing. So they moved it out, put it on the market, just happened to be like the day we were there.
Totally.
And so the algorithm on the day we were there was like, well, it's been empty for 3 years. It should be plummeted.
Let's just get it rented for a lower price.
Get it out. Like, it's weird. No one wants it. And
along come the SAUCY SIBZ, and we're like,
just happened to be there that day. And we
sounds
were
like a great price.
I'm sorry, what's wrong? Because we're in the closet.
We are in the fucking closet of that apartment. So as we like arrived to move in, you were there. The building manager was like, wait, what?
I don't think all the management team had seen how much we paid and were locked in.
Because we had already signed as we came in to move.
Mm-hmm. And they said, that's what you got that for? That square footage? He goes, that's what we charge for 1 bedrooms. But we're locked in. So he goes, good for you. He goes, hell yeah, we're super excited to have you. And I was like,
I'm sorry, what?
Nick was parking the Uhaul. This happened to me. And I was like,
it's fucking crazy. I mean, that's just so like, it almost sounds like it's fake. That's kind of like I did want to explain to it on the podcast because like it just sounds like we have a fucking trust fund. And it's like, Nick, how are you guys affording this giant ass apartment? And we're like, like the company fucked up and gave it to us for the lower price. Like they just like oopsied. Oops. No, but literally that's what happened.
Yeah, but they were like, dude, we're corporate now and it makes sense with it. Like they just the algorithm makes them the most amount of money at all times that it can. Mm-hmm. And this is just like a weird apartment. So you guys, no one has lived here before.
Ever once. Brand new. People have only toured it. And it is a bit weird, like why the closet is so big.
No, but it's definitely a weird ass setup.
The setup is a bit strange, like compared to the other ones, but it's completely fine and brand new. No. All the appliances, like it is gorgeous.
So tell them about our maintenance man.
Oh, okay.
So we're moving in and we're still confused.
You know, we're moving things in and like haven't really gotten everything there yet. And we're coming in like from the freight elevator, and like opposite of the freight elevator, there's like the garage. And so this guy like pops his head around the corner and just was like, "Oh, hello there." And it's the maintenance guy. I'm like, "Oh, hi." And he's just like, so you guys are moving into the secret room, are ya?" And we're like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, that room, that's never been rented out before. And it's the biggest. There you guys go. That's my favorite room." And we're like, "What?" Meanwhile, so like, also like our door in the hallway
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. It's just an unmarked door. It looks like a janitor's closet.
So, but first, we're on a floor that's a parking garage.
It's pretty much, we're on the opposite side. So it's like there's only a parking garage and like
Nick,
4 apartments.
There's 4 rooms on our floor.
And then we're in the janitor closet.
So you have to go through an unmarked door, down a hallway, and then you find like the number to our apartment. Like if someone's looking for it, they could never find it.
Never find it. It's a secret
It's
apartment.
a secret apartment.
And that's what the maintenance guy was saying. He was just like, "Good for you. That's awesome."
He goes, "You got the secret apartment."
Love it. And like, leave it to us to have like the secret room of requirement is what we're calling it.
Have you guys heard of the room of requirement? If you're not a Harry Potter fan, what are you doing with your life? You're not a big Harry Potter.
No, not really.
Okay. You should go back and read.
No.
Every couple of years, I go back and read all of them and then watch all the movies. One of the rooms in Harry Potter only shows up when someone requires it, and inside of it is everything that they require. And so like what
they were like using
Order of the Phoenix?
Order of the Phoenix,
no,
yeah.
Goblet of Fire. Was it
Order
Order
of the Phoenix? Yeah.
They needed like a room to like combat in. So the room of requirement showed up for them. And it's always secret and it's always down this weird little hallway and it shows up randomly. So this apartment's never been rented out before, showed up randomly through the wall. And it was exactly what we needed.
And like as we were moving stuff into it, there were people kind of by the hallway, and this one girl looked at us like, "Where the fuck are they taking that dresser?" And she's like, "That's not a room," because it looks like a janitor
She's lived
closet.
here for 4 years.
And we were like, "Oh no, it's a room," and then which we probably shouldn't have said. And she just gives us this look like, "What the?"
I go,
like,
"You can
what?
see it. You can tour our secret apartment."
She was like, "Oh my god, that's a whole apartment back there." We're like, "Yes, but let's keep it a secret."
But they also decorated our hallway.
Yeah, so
our hallway looks like a luxury.
We have our own hallway that's decorated with a
I
little
don't know
table.
why they tables with like succulents. It's like
art. Yeah. This sounds so fucking fake, and that's why I love it.
It sounds fucked up. Like we got lucky, but like we didn't do. I don't know.
I literally
just start praying.
I mean, those spells and prayers must have worked, because here we are.
Room of requirement. Our apartment had a podcast studio in it.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy. It's not
crazy.
a 3-bedroom, but this closet's the size of a bedroom.
Uh-huh.
So you guys, I don't know.
So this is how we landed this apartment. Which
can we also say we're gonna like talk to our apartment complex, see if they want to work together.
I know, wouldn't that be fun?
Well, just because we're obsessed, and a lot of the people that we met have lived here for years, and they're like, "It's so safe. It's right downtown. Everyone's amazing. We have full-time security." And like, it's just that you don't hear that from a lot of places.
I know. A lot of people are like, "Yeah, it's fine, whatever."
Yeah, people are like, "No, it's amazing."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
All right. Welcome back. We just refreshed our drinks. So anyway, Francesca, if you could just look up on the graph where we were.
Yep.
Cue the worst fucking day of our lives. The dreaded move.
So moving like is known to be one of the most stressful things people can do.
Is there anything worse than moving?
You know, I used to think that it was fine. I was like, I'm a minimalist. I have nothing. Yeah. Moving's like not that bad. At this point, I will never move out of this place. No,
this is where we are for the next.
No, I'll leave if I want like a garage sale where like my couch costs free. And everything I own is free.
What'd you say the other day when you were like, "I'm just going to open up the door to the homeless people and just say, here, come take what you want.
Take what you like." And that is how I feel because I will never do this again.
Completely.
So on the graph, guys, we have the 29th. Nick worked a double.
Yes.
So he worked the 27th, we got back the 26th. He worked the 27th and the 28th. I'm doing admin, trying to figure out if we have somewhere to live. Then the 29th, we found out we had a place.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick worked a double, which means 10 a.m. to midnight.
10 a.m. to midnight, yeah.
And I packed our apartment.
Yeah.
And drank haha.
Yeah, literally.
And then we woke up at 8 a.m.
Got to that motherfucking Uhaul place.
Because we found a Uhaul like 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
And we reserved a truck. So at 8 a.m. we show up for our U-Haul.
And I hate waking up early. 8 a.m.'s early for me.
No,
Because we were
bad.
like out of the house, like ready to go by 8 a.m. And this U-Haul is fucking huge.
It's like a semi.
Yeah. So big. Because we have a lot of stuff. Because we had honestly, it's that fucking couch.
It's the BBC, the big
BBC.
brown couch. Go back. It's episode We Gained a Couch and a Father.
I think it's episode 12 or 13.
It's worth the listening to.
It's really good. It's one of our favorite episodes. But we had to move the couch with us. And honestly, that meant renting a fucking U-Haul.
So one of
huge.
us was going to drive down the mountains in the ice in a snowstorm with a semi-truck full of shit.
Yeah. And that's what was so funny to us. Like when we were, about to do the move, it's like not only are we at 10,000 feet, which makes it hard to breathe, but cue a snowstorm. That would be perfect.
14 inches.
Perfect for your move, Francesco.
Yeah.
And Nicodemus. Like, let's snowstorm.
And you have to take everything out the back around, like, what would you say? Like a fourth mile?
A fourth mile? No, it's like 200
No
yards.
way.
It's a
It's
fucking
at least
lot.
a football field.
Yeah, maybe. But either way, the snow was so deep that we're falling over and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I don't know actually how we did it. And it's just her and I. We didn't get our friends over and say, come on, guys.
Apparently we don't have friends.
I didn't really ask anyone, but it was
That's
just like,
fucked up.
just pizza and beer, come over. No, honestly, people have asked me to move, and I've always said I hate moving. Like
You didn't ask anyone?
No, not really.
Silly. Absurd.
You know?
We live at 10,000 feet. Hard to breathe.
Yeah.
14 inches of snow. I can't even like read my handwriting. I was so like
Stressed out, reliving it.
Yeah. There were just like a lot of obstacles. Like
Oh.
we haven't been on the Amazing Race yet.
But
which-
it pretty much was.
It was the Amazing Race.
And then we actually had to be at our apartment by 2 p.m.
Yeah.
To check in, to like move in.
Because they leave at 4 p.m. So like if we're not there for them to check us in and give us our keys, you don't get to check in. And we paid for that day. Because
So-
this was
yeah.
December 30th.
So not only was like moving by ourselves hard, but moving through the snow at 10,000 feet. Now we're racing against the clock and we got to be there by 2 p.m. How did we do it?
I think
don't
it was
really
like
know.
dad strength and adrenaline.
I think it was adrenaline for sure. And that's why we were so fucking exhausted come the next couple days, because it was just like, that was fucking
No,
awful.
you guys, when we first tried to move this couch, if you listen to that other episode, I couldn't lift the couch and all I did was cry.
All Francesca did was cry. But you've been working
No.
out. You're stronger.
No, I'm stronger.
Love
I have muscles now. We carried everything, but I'm saying like we carried like sleeper couches, 300-pound, concrete end tables, which I
Yeah.
don't know why we own, and like through the snow.
Yeah.
And like one of us would like trip and fall over into a snowbank.
Yeah. As the couch would like come crashing down on us. And it was really stressful.
And we had to Tetris the U-Haul
Uh-huh.
against the clock.
However, I do think that you and I like were really funny about it. Like I was kind of cracking up the whole time because it was sort of like, it was just so not preposterous. Is that
Preposterous.
Yeah, is that the word I'm looking
Yeah,
for?
it was absurd.
It was just so absurd, and it was so bad. I remember waking up at 8 a.m. just being like looking at the ceiling like, really? Like, are we about to go do this? And we did it.
We were still breaking down furniture.
Yeah.
I have a 4-poster bed.
Yeah.
And then we were just duct taping things to other things
Just get it in the
to
U-Haul.
make it was fine.
Get it to Denver. Let's just go. Yeah.
And we somehow did it. Like I could not carry those things right now.
Right now, if I had to move the lightest piece of that couch, I think my arms would give up.
And
I think I would just sit down.
So we like woke up after I'd packed for 14 hours the day before and drank half a bottle of tequila.
Yeah.
We woke up and packed a U-Haul full of the heaviest pieces of furniture either of us have ever carried alone in the snow at 10,000 feet. And we were running.
running. We were
We were
like,
running.
we couldn't take photos. We were gonna like try to make like
I was like,
content.
let's vlog like the
Yeah.
moving day.
We literally didn't have enough time, and that was also so stressful, but like also hilarious. So it's like, Francesca, like, I don't care, just fucking duct tape it, just throw it in the U-Haul.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, and it started getting to a point towards our deadline that it was like, I no longer care if our shit gets damaged. We just need to get it out because we're not homeless. We have a place to live. Let's just fucking get there.
I was like, all we have to do is get our stuff there.
That's all we have to do.
So we didn't get everything, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so we packed the whole U-Haul, but you drove the U-Haul. I drove my car because we packed my whole car full of things too.
Mm-hmm. And I don't have a car, wink, wink, so I couldn't fit much in it anyway. So we just left it there at the place. And yeah, just let it, it can barely hold a bike, which actually now there's a snowstorm going down I-70 through the mountains with a giant U-Haul of all your belongings. What could go wrong? Not much, right? So it was fine. It actually was fine. Everything was fine. There was a little bit of traffic, which was actually kind of nice because it made me
Nobody
go
was
slow.
mad that you were going slow.
Yeah, we went slow. We went down.
Because Nick was like, if I hit my brakes at all, everything back here might break.
Literally. And that's kind of what I was just like, I'm not doing that like fast shit, and then the bumps. I was like, oh, a little bit of slower traffic.
We then but we know we found our apartment. We have to put everything in a freight elevator.
Also, freight elevator. Doesn't that just sound so like industrial?
We had to put everything in the U-Haul in an elevator, go up, and then put it in our apartment.
Yeah.
And so everything that we did for the past 6 hours, we have to do again for another 6 hours.
Which to be honest, like putting things in the U-Haul, I feel like I was dreading less than getting things out of the U-Haul.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it actually was kind of the opposite in terms of, for me, like how hard things were. I was like so relieved. Like it's almost like every piece that we brought out of the U-Haul and put into the apartment, it was like,
it like gave me a dopamine hit.
Yeah, exactly.
We're that much closer.
Exactly. It was a dopamine hit. Whereas like, like getting it in the U-Haul is like, not over the hump, but getting it out.
It wasn't helping me at all.
Yeah.
Like mentally. But like getting it out, I was like, Nick, we only have like 7 more pieces of furniture to put in the elevator, go up flights, get it in the apartment. So we did that for 6 hours.
And it was kind of like me and Francesca just gave each other like a high five. We
were being like team building, fucking summer camp bullshit. Because you have to stay positive. You do. Dad said to me, he goes, so you and Nick like didn't get in a fight? And I go, no.
We did the first time when we moved into Frisco.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't.
No. He goes, do you know moving is the most stressful thing? And usually people are like just yelling at each other the whole time. I go, we were laughing. We were doing it. Like it was just like, we have to get it done. And I go, Dad, like Nick and I, like, we work well together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's why, but it's important to like keep making jokes. And like, I did take an Adderall, which, listen.
We were on drugs, guys.
I mean, when I take Adderall, I find things just kind of hilarious, even if it's awful, And like, I feel like that helped. We were making jokes. It was like fucking summer camp team building.
Yeah.
And then we didn't eat anything because
didn't eat one morsel. We didn't have a calorie.
Not a calorie. I'm talking, we got a coffee and there was some cream in my coffee, and that was about it. And as you know, me and Francesca are big eaters. And so we like set our shit down. We kind of like high-fived each other. And then it was like, all right, if I don't eat a literal Thanksgiving feast right now, I'm going to freak out.
But we didn't.
We didn't. We really didn't.
No, we had friends who had extra tickets to a show. We immediately, you guys, we set our things down.
We showered.
Without shower curtains.
I showered without a fucking shower.
And then we made a drink. And then we went out until 7 a.m.
And I know what you're thinking. What the fuck? How do you do that? What a bad fucking idea. And
terrible idea.
No, I told you, like, when we met up with our friends, I was like, Francesca, it's such a bad idea to go out right now.
Worst idea.
Still have to.
It's the worst idea we'd ever had.
We still have to finish moving New Year's Eve day, which is tomorrow. And then we're probably going to go out for New Year's Eve because we're fucking insane. We cannot go out to a show. And I know
but
when
it was
we go
Desert Hearts.
But it was Desert Hearts at the church. So we went to church, which is a club. No one told me the church is at an actual church.
It's like an old church in Denver that's a club. You had some queso.
No, I actually had mac and cheese and queso. I actually grubbed hard
At like 10 p.m.
at 10 p.m. And mac and cheese is like hearty. So it was
Yeah.
I don't think you ate much.
I had a chicken breast.
A chicken breast. Okay, so no.
It was like
And protein's so
Pubs?
boring.
Well, no, but I've been like mostly vegan, and
Yeah.
but pubs like don't have a lot of like gluten friendly food.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's what I'm gonna try and like choke down a chicken breast.
Because you would have died if you didn't eat that chicken breast, probably. Like, I would have just buried you with a couch.
Couch is here.
So, we're eating a little grub, having a couple drinks. And our friends are just like, oh, you're coming out with us. You're coming out with us. And I was like, Francesca,
That's what we said. We said we'll meet you for like 30 minutes.
I think our muscles will literally fall off of our bones if we go out.
Yeah.
But we did. And I was like, okay, if we're going to go out, free tickets, Desert Hearts, who I love, at least like let's go for an hour, have a drink, and then we're clearly going to be way too tired to stand. Like, I mean, Francesca, there's no way you and I can stay out
silliness.
till 7 a.m. Like,
obviously not.
That would be that. No,
that would be crazy.
It would be so bad. But we here we are at 7 a.m. and I'm laying down on my bed. Fucking, I don't know if I was exhausted. I don't know if I was still hungry. I don't know, but I'm just sitting there kind of like, it was like a quiet quake all over my body. Like a good little Quaker
Everything,
Oats.
all the boxes were surrounding me. My mattress is on the floor and our apartment's like really cold because we didn't do anything. I slept like on the floor surrounded by everything I own
and then
at 9 a.m.
9:30.
Yeah,
9 a.m. 9:30. We get a call from our landlord, old landlord. Hey, the people are moving in. You need to get all your shit out.
People are moving in right now. The cleaners are here. Where are you?
Happy New Year's Eve. Have you ever been this stressed out before?
So we woke up. I screamed.
I fucking somersaulted out of bed.
You literally.
You know what I mean? I punched myself in the face,
And we got in the car and we drove up to the mountains.
Drove up to Breckenridge.
And move.
This is why I think we deserve a Purple Heart. I'm just kidding.
Moved the other half of an apartment.
And I will say the second day was much fucking harder. And then people are texting me, what are you doing tonight? I said, I no longer live where you think I live.
1, I don't live there anymore. 2, we don't care.
I don't care. I'm caring
if
about
I get out of this
right
alive, that's what I care about. And that's all I care about.
I felt like this was like Black Hawk Down. Like, no, we have to get out.
Broken
now.
Arrow.
Yeah. It was just get out. Horror movie on New Year's Eve. Worst day of our lives.
So it's 10:30 a.m. and I'm now in an apartment again. I'm fully moving again in a bigger snowstorm.
The snow keeps coming. Which is like a joke, you know what I mean? Like whatever, like fuck it,
Why wouldn't it?
Literally, why wouldn't it? Like, why would we go out? Like, why wouldn't we go out in a snowstorm on New Year's Eve to move all of our belongings? I mean, it's just how we roll. So saucy. But guys, we did it. We had to leave a few things at the apartment.
So she said, like, you have to be out. But we couldn't fit it all after the second trip.
Because we only had Regina, which is her car. But then we did have my car again, which I had just bought that morning.
We both drove down. But I hadn't slept.
Yeah.
I'm driving back down.
Did you sleep?
Snowstorm. I had like an hour. But I thought my life was ending.
You were way worse.
I was not well.
Yeah.
I called mom and dad having a panic attack.
You did.
Mom and dad said, we have a party to go to and we're with our friends and we can no longer talk to you. And I called them back.
And was like, please speak to me.
No, I was like, if you don't talk to me, like, I'm going to drive off the road.
Off the mountain.
No, I was like, we're done here.
I'm going to land in Georgetown.
I was like, I've ended my life. Like, I'm pulling over. I go, I'm so scared because the roads were so scary. And I was having such bad anxiety from not sleeping, eating, drinking. And I didn't think I would actually make it alive. I was like, I don't think Nick should be driving down. You don't have snow tires.
Yeah, but
so I was like worried about you.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm fucking fine. And no, it was one of the scariest days of my life. Like I was like, I should not be going down the mountain right now.
But there we are. We did it. We moved all of our stuff into our house again, which was way harder.
All of it was harder.
Oh my God. I felt like a backpack, like a box of 20 pounds was like heavy on the arms, you know?
Because we'd ripped all of our arms, all of our muscles. We were in
The
so
night
much.
before.
Yeah.
And we didn't recover because we didn't sleep like any normal person would. But
Then we went out for New Year's Eve.
that's just showbiz, baby. But then it's New Year's Eve. And then actually one of my childhood best friends lives in Denver. She's a lesbian. And she was like, hey, we haven't really seen each other in a while. She was like, would you want to get dinner on New Year's Eve? And I'm like, I am so fucking tired, Sarah. I literally want to die. I literally want to throw myself into a furnace. But yes, I will be there. What time and where do you have a reservation?
Yeah. But I will say we did not go out.
We didn't. We went to dinner.
We went to dinner.
Had a few glasses of wine. I had 5 glasses of wine. And
we were both in bed by 11:30 p.m. We went to sleep at about... I went to sleep at like 12:08.
I went to sleep at like 12:45. Also, mind you, New Year's Eve is my favorite holiday.
It is Nick's favorite holiday.
It's also Miley Cyrus's favorite holiday. It's always been my favorite holiday forever. I was just so stressed that like I was so excited, but we had made it. Like we fucking made it. And that was my New Year's celebration was like, thank fucking the Lord, the galactic Lord, because I was like, awesome. Like this is good. But then we woke up and we still had to get those last fucking things.
Oh, guys, we went back to Summit. Are you joking?
We woke up at 9, which we did get like 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
10 hours of sleep. So it was like, thank God. Because if not, then we actually would have died. Like our hearts would have stopped.
Yeah. We drove up together.
We drove up together, same car, Regina. And then we drove up to get the last few things. And everything was fine. However, it's not
we
even
couldn't fit everything still.
I know. We just left shit on the
We left so much of our own furniture.
Because, like, what else was I going to do? Like,
I just moved into the world's biggest room, the world's biggest closet.
And we threw away furniture.
I don't have any furniture.
I know.
Because we threw it out. We were so stressed out and so freaking out. We just threw it on the side of the road. We were like, I hope
at
someone.
This point,
one man's junk is another man's treasure.
Literally. That was our motto of that. That's how we rang in 2023. But no, seriously, like, people are going to be like, oh, you can't really leave all your fucking wine barrels on the side of the road. I'm like, do you know what I've been through the past 5 days?
Do you know how much this wine barrel's worth?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I just want a Purple Heart.
Yeah.
You know? So,
but it's nice stuff. We like literally accidentally got rid of all of our nice things.
It's fine. I mean, it's at that point, it was like fight or flight, survival mode. Like, we either die or we leave a few things. It's kind of how I was.
I was like, I can't come back up again. We just drove to the mountains
again
during the busiest ski weekends in traffic 3 times in 48 hours.
New Year's Day.
Okay.
So then we come back. We drive back to Denver. I'm sorry. I bet people are fucking annoyed. They're like, this is like Groundhog's Day. It keeps happening again and again.
It's.
So then we drove down, but
it was 4 p.m.
It's 4 p.m.
And I text some of my really good friends here. So what are you doing?
Guys, there's also something that I kind of want to bring up. Is New Year's Day the new New Year's Eve?
Yes.
And is January 2nd the new New Year's Day?
Yeah.
I feel like there's always such pressure. And a lot of people hate New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, because there's so much pressure to really have like one of the best times, the best nights, right? But it's overdone. It's almost like how like Thursdays are better than Fridays and Saturdays sometimes.
Always.
So like that New Year's Day when everything's closed, it's chill. Let's day drink. Let's go do something a little less done up, but turns out to be more fun.
It was all of our friends were like day drinking with like the coolest friends and doing this. And there was like this kind of like underground party at this club starting at like 6 p.m., but goes until on New Year's Day. Goes
11,
until 11, 12, 1 or 2. And then we went to an after party.
Yeah. So, of course, we went out. Because at that point, it's like, as you and I are like ascending to death, it's like we might as well just have fun with it, you know? And that's what we did. We went out. And it was good. I think everything was a good time. Like, we met up some really old friends of ours, some of our best friends, and
I accidentally called Blonde Denver Daddy.
Blonde Denver Daddy. He's back in the story, if you guys remember. He's the one who I met the Stanley Cup with. And dude,
he's fine.
we love him.
We love him.
I like him. I like him.
We love him.
So
But like, did I need to call him my first night? Like, he lives in Denver. Did I need to call him my first night in Denver to hang out?
probably not. And that's what he thought was so funny. He's like, of course.
I
you would
answered
call
the
me.
phone and he was laughing his ass off because he listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, are you in Denver? Are you calling me?" And I was like,
He's like, do you need help moving things? Like,
I said, I already did that.
yeah, no help to you.
And he was
Denver
like, "Do you want to
daddy."
hang out?" And I was like, "I don't know." But then we invited him.
And it was a great time. Fun was had by all.
He was appalled at how messy my room was. And I was
Well,
like,
we had just, which I thought was kind of rude because he is a neat freak. But it's like,
he's very
oh my
type
God, you
A.
just moved in and like we've had a really hard week.
Yeah.
You know?
He goes, "It looks like someone's squatting here." I was like, when have I had time to organize?
Mind you, my room was completely unpacked and organized at this point. Was it not? Was it not?
No, it was.
I know. Well,
My
I'm
closet's
just like that
bigger.
though. I just like, it's almost like therapeutic to me to like,
Yeah, I just like don't have that gene.
okay. Yeah, no, but
I
your room is
don't.
good now. Your room
Yeah,
is good now. And like the closet's good.
I
as you
think it was
guys
because
can
I
see.
wanted like my dad's approval and not my real dad.
Blonde
my
Denver
daddy's
daddy.
I wanted his approval.
Good. And you sent him photos.
I did. And like he was like, "Wow, like it looks good." And I was like, "Thank you. Like I'm living for your approval." It's weird. My actual father could give a shit less.
He's like, I've been trying to get her to clean her room since
1989.
1989.
Truly.
Oh man.
Because that's all we have for you right now.
Yeah, that is the story. And we're
Did we
back.
go
We're in
out the
Denver.
next day? I can't speak.
We
of
went
it.
to brunch.
No, Nick. We went to brunch. Our friend came over, and then we went out with our other friend.
Yeah, well. But that was like
That's
chill.
neither
It
here
was
nor there.
chill. It
It
was
was
like
chill.
we were just like getting a lay of the land, you know. Ugh.
Are you getting sick?
No.
Don't
I'm
you
just like
get sick at this point?
no. I'm not. Oh no, I'm done getting sick. That is left in 2022 because I was sick during Christmas, but I was fine before Christmas. I just had like
knock
a
on
little.
wood. I haven't gotten sick in years.
Yeah. Sick people are for like sick people. You know, just kidding.
You guys, we love you. This is an update. We have
Mhm.
so much cool, awesome stuff coming.
Yeah, this is a messy ass update. So
In the closet.
honestly,
studio.
iconic in the studio. Back in the studio once again.
Back at it again. You guys, things are coming. We live in Denver now.
Yes. So HMU, if you live in Denver,
Truly, we are back to real life.
yeah,
So
which is exciting.
I didn't know that we hid away in the mountains like the hills have eyes for
Oh my
3
God.
years. That's how I feel.
I don't feel that way. I had a great time. We had a great time.
It's fine.
But now we're here. So thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, JaJa Tequila, for sponsoring this episode. Thank you, Giant Ass Fucking Closet, for sponsoring this video. And you know, guys, always share with your friends.
Please.
Go tell people. Go subscribe on YouTube. We are now doing full videos on YouTube and have been for a while, which is lovely. Although our YouTube videos don't really do too well. Like we get more downloads like listening through like Spotify or Apple and stuff like that. But I would really love it.
I don't need so many people to see me over here like making faces at you speaking. It's such a
I kind of like it though, you know. I feel like it just adds more like depth to our platforms.
You've been using the word depth a lot.
Depth.
You've said it a lot the last few
Well,
days.
I've just been really thinking about depth.
You guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye.
We'll just keep doing ridiculous things and living ridiculous lives
know.
just for the people.
Is this episode chaotic? I can't tell.
I can't either.
I know. You guys let me know if this episode
Was it boring or
not.
chaotic?
Either way.
Was it funny or interesting?
I feel like there's nothing boring
Was it
about.
inspirational?
Did we inspire you to hide in your closet and talk about the worst days of your life?
But we live in no, we
live in
believed.
We believed, guys. You can have anything you want.
I love you guys. We gotta go.